awful scheme this season cost one of the most explosive running backs in the NFL his shot at being the guy and getting paid like it. I know injuries help, but if he wasn't used incorrectly, maybe he doesn't get hurt. Hashtag I'd be mad too. Tyler, thank you so much. And Zach, I want you to react to that. And while you do, I'm going to bring up this article so everyone can get on the same page on exactly what Lindsay had to say.
I mean, my reaction is nonverbal because I cherry-picked one quote out of the article, which was a very well-written article by Luke about Phillip Lindsay. And what he said is, basically, how do you know if someone can't catch the ball if you don't throw to him? And my reaction was the Oprah gif. Anyone's ever seen it on Twitter where she's like, you know what? That's what I've been saying for months and months now. He's saying the same thing Chad and I said, and he's finally speaking out. And I believe putting Pat Shurmur on blast where he needs to be put. No other player has said this. Vic Fangio deferred all accountability, all responsibility. It was all Drew Lock's fault. But lost in the quarterback and lost in the injuries and lost in the pandemic was the misuse of the Broncos offensive players, from Jerry Jeudy to Noah Fant to KJ Hamler, and yes, even Phillip Lindsay. I was standing up and applauding these comments, Chad, not because I want dissension or disharmony in the Broncos locker room, because it needed to be said. Phillip Lindsay is a game-breaking talent, and when he has a game where he has 2 or 3 carries, 2 or 3 touches, that is inexcusable. I could not be happier that he finally spoke up.
Very well said. So let me just set the stage really quick, all right? Shout out to our friends Nick Ferguson and Cecil Lammy of the Nick and Cecil Show. Weekdays on the Fan there in Denver, 104.3 The Fan. They had him on, I want to say it was Monday night, all right? So they got talking, and here's what Phillip Lindsay said, the first thing that he said that was incendiary. Quote, "Everybody knows that I can run inside well, but come on now, I'm 190 pounds. I can't sit there and run up the middle 24/7. That's just not my style. I have all this speed. I have great vision." That just jumped up. Come on, man. Stand by.
You're not our sponsor, Reese's. Get out of here.
All right. I have great speed. I have all the speed. I have great vision. I'm a person, that can accelerate at any time. I just need to be put in position at times where you can get the pulling guards and you can get the screens, the draws. That stuff right there accelerates a running back, especially my type. Close quote. We'll come back to another one, but I want to touch on this. I want to let our hair down just for a second on this. This is absolutely true. How many times during last season, whether it was Phillip or Gordon, but regardless, did we say that Pat Shurmur's rushing attack was boring? It was predictable. It was inside-outside zone, just rotate it. Then what happened? Late in the year, he finally decides to get creative. What game was it? I want to say it was the road game. Shoot, I can't remember which game it was, but it was down the stretch, all right? All of a sudden, you're seeing guards and tackles and even the center pulling, and you're doing traps and pulls. And sure enough, what did it do? It blasted open a few big games for Lindsay. I mean, he had several games last year, Zach. I'm going to pull up his game log here in a second. But he had several games this year where he would have 7, 8, 9 carries, but then he'd have like 89 yards, 90 yards. I mean, his production when he was used in that way was just unbelievable. And he's right, man. You got to let him, you got to scheme him to a point where he can utilize his skill set and his talents and what make him that special, unique back that he is. You got to get him on the perimeter.
It would be like never calling a 9 route for Tyreek Hill. It just doesn't make sense if you're not utilizing the player's best skill sets. And you mentioned the Broncos' run schemes being boring, uncreative. They were downright just terrible last year. They were running Phillip Lindsay like Royce Freeman, right up the middle. No creativity, nothing outside. But that's also an issue. I can't fault just Pat Shurmur. That actually precedes Pat Shurmur all the way back to Scangarello. So I don't know. Maybe it's Curtis Modkins. Maybe there's someone on the coaching staff that just doesn't see Lindsay for what he is. But it really came to pass last year when he was getting like a handful of touches a game. When he's your most explosive playmaker on offense, he can take it to the house from any point of the field. He's a tough guy. He can run up the middle. He can run goal line. He can pass protect. He can catch the ball. But if you don't allow him to see the field, if you don't give him the touches, and worst of all, if you don't utilize his skill set, he's useless. And I don't blame him one iota for saying these comments. It's almost like, though, reading it, it's like he got verbally hacked. You would never expect Phillip Lindsay to say these things out loud. But he's so on point and so specific with his criticism, it makes me feel like he's been harping on this for months and months and months. Not just something that came to him in this moment. This is something that's been sitting with him the entire season. And someone finally asked about it, and he finally had enough courage, and he finally had enough, you know what, I don't care anymore, to say, this is how it really is. This is how it can't be, but this is how it is, and I don't like it.
Honestly, I think this really is a thing that this devolves to Shurmur, because Curtis Modkins, the running backs coach, he was the guy that basically vaulted Lindsay. Like it was Modkins' call to supplant Royce Freeman. Like when Royce Freeman got hurt in 2018 as a rookie in week 7, all right, against the Texans, he was the man at that point. Lindsay had flashed a few big games and he had made some big plays and had some big runs, but he was the complement. And then Royce went down and Lindsay just took that freaking mantle and ran with it. And then when Royce came back, there was your opportunity to go back to your 3rd round pick. You got a serious investment in. Didn't happen. From then on out, it was Lindsay. Modkins, I think, does deserve some of the credit for Lindsay's unprecedented back-to-back 1,000-yard rushing campaigns to open his career, despite being undrafted. Christy says Shurmur is predictable and not creative. Lindsay could work, but won't in Shurmur's crap system. Sad to see. Lindsay has heart, and that's hard to find.
That's such a good point about him having heart. He has the biggest heart, I believe, on the entire team. And no matter if it's 3rd and 1 or 4th and 20 or 1st and 10, I mean, he will always give you his all and he will always push forward. He's always fighting. He's always battling out there. He loves being a Bronco. He loves Denver. He loves football. Why not reward that guy? Why not feed into that guy? And instead they alienated that guy. That's just completely wrong.